Holy guacamole, I'm going back to my roots. This is like printing out the ban list of work. Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT. I'm 2-0 at YCS Philly, and someone showed up in the middle of my round 2 to tell me the ban list dropped. And I thought they were trolling and being like one of those annoying people who talks to you while the round is still happening, but no, there was a ban list drop. So, totally frazzled the back half of the match, ran down here, I'm literally out of breath, got Gage's phone, which I'm gonna use to do your ban list react. All right, so what I'm expecting, heavy hits to Kashtira. I imagine there will also be hits to some decks that aren't necessarily that good, but have kind of lived their lifespan, Sprite and the like. What I'd really like is to see a lot of the cards that make Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfun, specifically in the video I was talking about yesterday, that just reduce the game down to non-games gone. And that includes not only a lot of cards that are really good, like a Rise Heart, also a lot of cards that are not really good. So, let's see, I'll just take a look. Banned. Stein, very funny that we thought this could be back. Oh, Stein, what's the problem? Free special summons. Super heavy Samurai Scarecrow. The deck's been around for 1 goddamn week. They are not giving us time to play with our toys anymore, folks, but completely fine. There's a lot the deck can do even without Scarecrow. Unfortunately, I did pick up the goatee version this weekend. Looks like I won't be able to play it at full power, but I'll figure something out. Diablosis, great hit. This card is not a consistent part of Kashtira end boards, but almost every time that something unfun and uninteresting happens in that matchup, he is part of it. And very happy not only that he's gone because he decreases the power of cash decks, but also because he's a type of interaction I think should not be available. It sucked that people had to shell out additional money to buy a second Zeus in order to compete. That's not fun. A Pointer of the Red Lotus. Why was this at 1? Goodbye. Terrible, terrible card to be legal. And Expulsion. So a little concerned about this because there is Sanctifier, which is kind of Expulsion, but it's a lot worse than Expulsion, harder to set up than Expulsion. I think it's a little more elegant than banning like the 15 cards that all say, guess what, asshole, you can't play the game anymore. A lot of good forbids, but unfortunately, not sufficient to prevent Kashtira from being the best deck just yet. I'll reserve judgment until we see the limits. I'm quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! No, what the? All right, first off, Blaster Dragon, Ruler of Infernos. Master Duel stuff means that probably this was an inevitability. They were featuring him on product again. It's fine. It's completely fine. Circular, unfortunately, I understand to 1. The deck can still find it a million ways. Sign Up Mining, Small World, just means it's not as repeatable as it was in the past. Obviously the deck isn't particularly good. It's like the 4th or 5th best deck. It's just like a lot of power packed into one card. I like this. I like when legacy archetypes get a powerful singular card that does the whole thing for the deck, but I don't like when they can do it every single turn. Really actually pretty happy about this hit, even though I'm a huge Math Mech stan. Ding Dong, fine. I used to be a Danglong hater. I used to be like, oh, there's no way this card can ever come back in a million years. Completely changed my tune on it, and that's because of the Masochist ban list tournament. We've done a ton of labbing stuff out and found out that actually it's nowhere near as scary as I think we all assumed it was. A Rise Heart, good to 1. Happy the Diablosis is banned, so now we don't automatically lose because someone Diablosis our Rise Heart. There are going to be some weird scenarios in which a Unicorn just turns off a Rise Heart for the entire game. A Rise Heart's really good, and happy to see it move to 1. Now it's not as repeatable. The only way they can get it back is with birth type shenanigans, but it's not going to be nearly as prevalent as it was. That said, Kashtira is still a very capable deck, even if it only has the singular copy, and I'm not seeing any other Kashtira names on this limit list. No Fenrir, no Unicorn, no Birth, no Theosis, and so hard to say that this deck is anything other than still crazy. Pearly Delicious Memory. I mean, this kind of sucks. I just sort of assumed that when the ban list came out, it would not hit the 2nd and 3rd best decks. That's because, I think they deserve some time to shine. I have no problem with an unhit Pearly being the best deck. I have no problem with an unhit Super Heavy being the best deck, because I think right now a lot of it's billion negate board states are a result of Kashtira being so absolutely dominant. I think it would like to play a longer game in which you get to flex the really powerful Super Heavy Synchros that really don't see any play right now, but now we're just taking it out to pasture literally 2 weeks after the new card was released. Delicious Memory at 1 does matter as well, because it means you can't consistently get it off My Friend Pearly. It means that you have to be deciding, do I want to use a singleton targeted search on this card in particular? That sucks in a deck that already has consistency issues. I don't know why they did that. And to cap it all off, that's the card that's the most critical to the end board because, of course, it's the one that ranks up into Plump, which is the Xyz that actually does something. Naturia Sacred Tree, you've got to be fucking with me. So, like, this one's fine insofar as it's one of those cards that would have had a hard once per turn if it was printed in 2018, but it was printed in, like, 2014, and for that reason, they're like, how are you going to get 3 in the graveyard? You know, we're never going to print a card that sends a trap card from the deck to the graveyard. And then all those people left Konami, and the new people came in, and they were like, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. It feels like Ben 10 in that you can use it a bunch of times in one turn, but it also feels like Ben 10 in that Drytron sucks, as does Kashtira, or Naturia. And Naturia, being allowed to do something unfair while being not good is, in my opinion, fine. That said, the gameplay loop that Naturia establishes is not interesting. Naturia Beast Pass is not a fun board state. So, you know, the less playable this deck is, the better. Thanks for Gage for letting me get this. His deck for this event is Naturia, so get fucked, idiot. Semid. Herald of Orange Light to 2 could go to 3, no problem. I mean, honestly, bring it back to 3. Let us play Tier Limit again. No Kid Kolos on the limited list either. Cringe. Kashtira Unicorn to 2. Oh, that'll do it. That's the Kashtira hit. Wow. A Rise Heart to 1. Oh, that's pretty big. But I still think the deck's the best deck. We got to do something else to kick the teeth out of this archetype. Don't worry, folks. I got it. Unicorn to 2. Now there's no way you'll be able to find Unicorn between Terraforming and 3 Pressure Planet Wraith's Oath and 3 Fenrir and Birth to normal after the Fenrir and Rise Heart to banish and then bring back with the Birth that you've hard drawn. This is... It's not an impactful hit, folks. Oh, man. Lightning Storm. Wow. That's like, I can't imagine a more out-of-touch hit than that. Don't get me wrong. I think Lightning Storm sucks. I would really appreciate if Lightning Storm was not legal, because I think those cards lead to non-games. But, like, it's one of the worst of the ones that sweeps up the board state. Come on. Runic Fountain to 2, whatever, like, that's fine. I really have nothing to say about this. This is one of those hits that, like, feels like it should probably exist because, like, the Runic cards are very powerful, but I don't think it really impacts the deck building decisions being made by those decks because a lot of them are on 2 anyway, and they have infinite access to it between Hugin and Gary, so, you know, who really cares? Maybe you can't open it as frequently, which means that negating the Hugin maybe matters sometimes. Engage to 2, so this was foreshadowed on the Forbidden Limited list. Not a lot to say about that, except, oh boy. And Sprite Starter to 2. Sprite Starter to 2. Was Sprite Starter not at 2? Have I been playing too much Master Duel? Sprite Starter to 2. Well, glad to see Sprite Blue not on the limited list at any rate. And Unlimited. Steam the Cloak, that's fine. Birdman, that's fine. Lotus, that's fine. Lotus, we decided that FTK is actually dog shit. Spiral Quick Fix, also fine. Lyralist Caressible Starling, fine. Draco Faceoff, fine. Multi-roll, whoa. Multi-roll at 3 and Engage at 2 and Kagari at 3 all at the same time? I mean, not to be a Sky Striker naysayer, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so my thoughts about this are, I have mixed feelings. On one hand, I'm glad that they hit cash. Like, obviously they had to hit cash. It's massively dominant. I'm going to appreciate the last week of being able to play 3 Arise Heart. Appreciate in quotes here. Appreciate the wins, but not appreciate playing the actual game. Playing in quotes as well. Kind of frustrating that the decks that were supposed to now take the forefront in Kashtira's footsteps, now that the deck has been hit, have also been hit. Delicious Memory to 1 is huge. No Scarecrow means we have to retool end boards. I'm sure that Super Heavy Samurai can do that. It's just a frustrating process. Circular to 1 means the 4th best deck is getting hit, as does Expulsion Band for the 5th. And to top it all off, I don't actually even know if Kashtira is not still the best deck. Like, 1 Arise Heart sucks, but the deck's gameplay loop is still there. I think I would probably have to say, if you, gun to my head, asked me what I would bring to a tournament under this ban list, it'd be Furniture Lab. While I think Furniture Lab is incredibly powerful in terms of its applicability for this format, it plays super well into Kashtira, I think the Kashtira matchup is still going to exist after this list goes into effect. And for that reason, I have to look at a deck like that received absolutely 0 hits and go, oh, it's looking pretty nice. Add to that the fact that, like, now they will have a way to beat Kashtira in the grind game because they really only have the 1 copy of Arise Heart, and I don't know, I would have a rough time not picking that exactly. I don't know. Did my whining get Konami to release a ban list on a weekend, something that they've never ever done except for the couple of times that they have? Perhaps. Was this the ban list I wanted? No. But communication's good, step in the right direction. I hope that we get a follow-up thing talking about exactly what this means, why they banned it, and what their ideas for the direction of the format going forward should be. I'm on my knees right now, by the way, in case you're wondering why I look like I'm squatting, and I'm hurting a lot, so bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Click the mid-roll, subscribe, go to twitch.tv/LukeVonKarma. Bye-bye.